You should be streaming then.
Okay.
So we're good to go?
Okay, yeah.
Do I keep the computer open?
You can if you want to, or you don't have to.
Let's just keep it like this, just in case.
Sure.
They say it's in stream up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, welcome back. welcome back. As we learn the technology and as we get ourselves acclimated, you may see a couple of delays. So we were supposed to start at 4:10 on the live mode. It is 4:12. I would say 12-minute delay is okay. What do you think?
I forgot to change the battery of my watch, so I'm good. I'm right on time. Let's start the timer now.
All right.
We are live and direct. Do you know what live and direct means?
It means we are live and directly connected.
Live and direct. Absolutely.
So welcome back, everybody. This is our 9th episode. On our 9th episode, we have so much information. How much information?
Too much information. We're going to try and squeeze it into this hour that we have.
That is correct. And before we start, there's some topics that we want to discuss so we can frame the communication, frame it, so that it hopefully will be understood. And at the end of this, we'll look back and we're able to see whether or not we were successful in the communication simply by what happens. Okay? Now, the first thing that I wanted to discuss mention is subscriptions.
Subscribe.
Number one thing we wanted to mention on our very first live episode, click the little subscribe button. If you don't see the little subscribe button, there is one on the screen actually. There should be one on the screen with a little red button. Click it. It should say subscribe. And you should be subscribed.
Subscribe, please.
Mm-hmm. You will get so much information. Even if you don't subscribe, you'll get information. But subscription keeps better, more information, even more valuable.
But we're also going to be giving away free things as well, right?
On top of all that.
I wasn't supposed to say that.
It's okay.
But we are going to be giving a lot of free gifts, free information. All of our guests, we're going to be trying to make them give us free things, not just us, but for you. So it's a good idea to subscribe so we can get you on the list, so we can contact you in case we need to give you free things.
Not just free, valuable things.
Sure. Free and valuable. Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's right.
That's what it's about.
Now, the second thing that I wanted to mention, we got the subscribe out the way. The second thing that I wanted to mention is the memberships that we offer. The memberships that are offered for entrepreneurs and individuals. And you're thinking, Roberto keeps talking about those memberships. I don't have too much time to talk about every little detail of the membership. What I will give you is an example of the membership.
Yeah.
Okay? So, if I may demonstrate number one. This is a
What is
control.
that?
It's a remote control.
It's a remote control.
The remote control has, look at all these functions. This is a well-functioning remote control. Is that correct?
It is. It looks like it.
You think about it, you look at it, and you go, wow, this remote control does everything that I need. It looks like it does everything. It's got all the numbers. It's got all the little things here, it's got all these buttons down here, okay? So now, there's a cost associated with this remote control. The cost is all the little pieces that have to be put together. There's just so much information just with this remote. Okay? Somebody from the 1950s will look at this remote and think, wow, that's the best remote ever. Because it was so much out of its league with regards to the type of TV that they had.
And the technology involved to even create those buttons. Right.
So you go, oh man, look at the numbers I can press.
Right.
Top of the line remote, right? So now this is today's environment with regards to how you deal with things. Okay? Today's remote. Well, actually, this remote is probably about 5 years old. Okay, our memberships in our environment is more along the lines of this remote. Okay, as that I don't have enough time to explain to you how to break down that remote into this remote. What I do have is some links below where you can click, look at the descriptions. There's a sample of an audiobook from the Billionaires tax-free wealth playbook.
Okay.
It's not me because sometimes I sense that. Maybe it's for somebody. If you heard it from somebody that has more followers potentially, go, oh, this is the strategy. We're trying to get you from here to here while saving you time and money.
That's the key, though, while saving you time and money.
That's right.
Because everybody out there is trying to do that, right? But how can we do that efficiently?
That's right.
Right? That's the key.
That's right. And
that's the key.
The main thing is cutting the right processes. Cutting the right process. And that's what the membership does. I don't have too much time. So we're going to move on to the third thing that we're going to be talking about today. And that is the big item in the discussion, which is Super Bowl.
Oh, that's right. Wait, the Super Bowl's coming up? Is that happening?
Super Bowl is coming up, baby. We're live.
Right, we are live. So that means that the Super Bowl is in a couple of days.
Sure.
The Pro Bowl just happened, and the Super Bowl is in a couple of days. I'm excited. It's going to be a really good game.
Super Bowl number 56.
56.
And there is so much knowledge in this. There's so much information in just this game. People don't, I appreciate all this information. And then what we would like to do is elaborate on the knowledge and availability on just this one event.
Right.
And create a scenario where it is valuable, where you learn more that you can apply it for later times, not just, crap, I lost a bunch of money because I bet on the Rams.
Wait, you don't know if it's the Rams yet?
I don't know that. I'm predicting somebody else that
Nice.
made the wrong bet.
Right, yes, I see.
And this will allow for you to have more information where hopefully you pick the proper team. And even if you pick the wrong team, you'll be able to go back and get, next one, I understood why. I should be able to go back and try this again next year.
But I think that folks also should understand what's going on as they're watching the game.
Of course.
I feel that that's the biggest misconception or the biggest problem that folks have when they're watching football. They have no idea what's going on.
That's correct.
Especially the ladies. And I know the ladies right now are watching this and saying, I'm going to tune out because they're going to talk about football.
Yes.
But
Don't tune out.
Don't tune out, because I want you to understand football so you can understand what is going through our minds, what is actually happening in the process. And we want to kind of tie it together to other sports that are similar to that, right? So I want to do a quick breakdown of American football.
I love it.
Yeah.
When we get to this breakdown, I would like to discuss, or as we get to the breakdown, I would like to discuss, because we're going to be talking about the future, and my perception is in order for us to get to that future and understand what the future may look like, I like to look at the past.
Right.
I like to look at how we got there, what happened, what were the situations that came up that brought us to this point. So that at that point, well, we have the line, we have another point of recognition, and see where that could go.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, something I learned as we were discussing that we were going to be shooting the Super Bowl. Okay? And this information is, I think, extremely valuable. As an example, the origins of football.
Right.
I'm not sure whether, are you familiar with the origins of football?
A little bit.
You are? Well, so here's the deal. Jacinto is more on the lines of today's world research.
Right.
I did a little bit of the past
Right.
research.
Yeah.
Okay. And so in that, what we're going to do is put those together.
Right.
Have a good time with it. And so from football, what I learned, which something that I kind of already knew, but I wasn't sure about until my understanding is that soccer has been around for thousands of years.
Sure.
There's recordings in China of the situation of people playing with a leather ball.
And when even the Aztecs were playing
Yes.
that version of it with their.
And it got me thinking.
Have you ever seen that game, by the way?
With hips.
Where they use their elbows, their
yeah.
hips, their head, and then the goal is sideways. It's like a basketball goal, but
Yes.
it's sideways, and it's like 20 feet in the air.
Yes.
And then did you know that the MVP of the game,
Really?
the MVP, you know what they win?
A woman, maybe? No.
Murder.
What do you mean, murder?
They kill them.
Oh, the winner gets
The
killed?
winner it's an honor to be sacrificed to the gods.
Oh, get out of town.
So-
You're out of here.
so-
Hey, you did what you needed to do.
The
We're sending you off.
best player in the game, the MVP of the game, they murder you right there in front of everyone, and it's the greatest thing ever to be murdered in front of everyone, and as your blood is gushing out into the crowd. So I know that I would have been a terrible Mayan. I
It
would
was
be
the Aztecs.
the Aztecs, the Mayans, all of them. They would do their sacrifices, right? But it's like, man, they'd be like, Coach, I can't go in, Coach. But you're the best player on the team. No, I know I'm the best player, but
they're practice.
don't want to
Bam.
die.
But I'll train your team.
Can
I'll
you
train
coach?
them. I'll train them to the moon. by my knee. My knee.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Yeah.
No worries.
The origins.
It's perfect because it is actually it's unfortunate actually to some degree because those societies were decimated.
Right.
So we didn't see that version, but it's actually intriguing because you see societies that are farther away that are still mixing in the ball and the leather and
Right.
and that type of shit.
Right.
I don't know if the Chinese did the murder thing.
Don't know about that one.
I didn't look into
Google
that. Google it. Put it in the descriptions.
Please
Put it in
help
the
us with
chat.
that one. Add it to the comments, please, because I would love to know
That would be cool.
if they were down with murder. I mean,
Okay.
why not?
So soccer, right? And then another sport that developed that was more formalized around the 1800s is rugby.
Rugby, right?
Rugby. So we have soccer for thousands of years that is coming along all through Europe and things of this nature. And then we have rugby that is formulating in England.
Shout out to rugby players. You guys
Man.
are so tough. Those are tough people to play
I
rugby.
mean, the game in itself is so kind of brutal.
And no pads,
No
no
pads,
helmets,
no blockers.
no blockers.
No
You're on
blockers.
your own.
And it's 15 on 15. Wow. I know. So, yes.
yeah.
Shout out to the rugby folks.
Please,
The
yes.
sport. Now,
Soccer players too.
soccer and rugby. Now, these two sports, and this is what's so great about USA, I guess. I was going to say America, but USA, you know who I'm talking about.
America.
is that these things kind of bridged over, and then people started playing these games. And it was like the colleges. The colleges would go, no, let's play like this. No, let's play like that. And this situation can happen. And so football and rugby did this thing and popped out baby football.
Wow.
American football, a.k.a. the gridiron.
Right.
Is what I didn't understand why they called it the gridiron.
That is a great question. So just a quick background. I've been playing football since I was 6 years old. I played all the way through high school. I was a captain of the team. I played.
You were captain of the team?
I was captain. I was captain of every team.
Get out of town.
Not because I was the most athletic at all. It was just because I was the smartest. I was able to put myself in the right position to not get hurt. So coach is always like, "You're the smart one."
I'm the leader. I'll be right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Now y'all go over there. I'm gonna be right here.
I'll be right here. I'm gonna stay in the safe zone. But I played college football as well. I played college football at the University of Texas, El Paso. Go Miners.
Go Miners.
And then I got hurt and a lot. And that's how I got into personal training. So I love football. I would have played professional football if I could have.
Gotcha.
That's how much I love football. So
Gotcha.
I don't know if you know also about the history of football, and that in the very beginning, it was looked at as a bad thing.
Oh, really?
So
Tell me
people
this. Okay.
weren't getting paid.
Right.
So
yes. I had a mention about that.
They
Yeah,
had
people weren't
they
getting
had a
paid.
day
Right.
job,
Right.
and then they'd play football,
Correct.
and then they'd have to go home and go to work the next day.
Yeah.
Because it was not a paying thing.
Right.
There's a movie with George Clooney.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm gonna watch it. The Leatherheads.
Leatherheads, yes. Where they kind of talk about where that transition happened, because it used
how
to be
intriguing.
college football was it.
Yes.
If you played
Okay,
college football, you became successful.
There was
and
no professional league.
There was no professional
Nowhere to
league
go to after this.
after college. So they kind of developed it with these guys, and it became what it is now. And now guys in the NFL are making millions of dollars, versus back in the day they were lucky if they could make a couple pennies.
Yeah.
No,
Like
it's definitely
well,
transition.
the first, I believe, my understanding, the first professional player got paid, I think, $500 for one game.
500 one game.
That's what I understood.
That's actually not bad for like the 20s.
But it was like a one-time contract deal. And then later, they became more like, for season or per time. And it was $10 per season or per game or something. Like, and then it was more along the lines of people leaving the game. And or people wanting to go from team to team because they were like, I'll give you 20, I'll give you 5. And they had to regulate more. And then so a little bit at a time, all those rules that you have now, it's because, they've been formulating. And that's where the lesson or the information becomes valuable.
Wow.
It all becomes valuable.
That's
but,
interesting.
And so in the timeline, this baby was born, from my understanding, November 6th, 1869.
Wow, you nailed it. Like right on the date. Okay.
November
Good job.
6th, I everywhere I looked at. So if I'm wrong, I mean, you got to look at all the little encyclopedias.
So should we celebrate November 6th? Should that be a holiday?
That's up to you. I guess your preference. That's when that baby was born.
Only a couple months short of January 6th, which is a famous date now too.
So in that essence, so that was the first game that the two first colleges played this game. Okay. So soccer, rugby, bam, baby comes out. Everybody's scrambling what to call this baby. And in comes this guy. His name is, what's his name? Walter Camp. Walter Camp. And they call him the father of football.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
The father of football. My perception, he's actually like the doctor that delivered the baby.
Interesting.
I see it as soccer is the dad because it belongs. The mother is rugby. They get together unless it's like a cradle robber little situation where soccer is the mom and rugby is the dad.
and that's interesting because we don't have like an originator really. Do we have a person? Because like you said, it came from other sports.
Right, correct.
Unlike shout out to Dr. Naismith, he invented basketball, which is an actual invention. They actually have the original because he did it at the YMCA.
At the Y.
Yeah, so that's where it started. So he actually wrote up the rules of basketball on a big board. And that board, the actual board, they sold it on a eBay auction for millions of dollars.
I was not aware.
The original basketball goals.
Learning
rules.
So much in every direction.
Yeah.
And so after that original game, it took about 1869 and then 1880. 11 years later was when that situation happened. So one of these things that I learned was, even though everybody likes it, it took 11 years for them to formalize and to get the rules down. And then one guy that really kind of pressed it, like you mentioned, wrote it down.
And there was so much going on at that time. That's the Civil War is going on at that time.
It's just such a crazy
That's
environment.
crazy.
But you know, you can see it as one of the reasons why people were able to interact without literally murdering. No, my team. Let my team do it. I'm for this team. I think kind of what happens now, actually.
Shout out to the Mayans and Aztecs.
Bye.
Murder.
They're done.
MVP?
Played the wrong game.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So
Yeah.
now we have football. Now we have rules that kind of make sense for everybody, but not everybody.
Right.
And so some of the similarities between what we were going to talk about was the differences
Right.
between football,
Fútbol.
football. It's football.
And football.
It's football.
And football.
Exactly.
All right.
So 11 players
Yes.
on both of them.
Yes.
11 players, similarities there.
Yes.
Okay. In football, one player gets to grab the ball with his hands. In football,
Everybody can.
everybody gets to grab it. In football, we're live, don't forget.
Yes.
Everybody kicks it with their feet.
Mm-hmm.
In football,
Only one person.
flip.
Interesting.
So I'm looking
I
at it,
never
I'm
looked at
going,
it in that
it's
perspective
just a bunch
before.
of people that were like, the feet, nah.
Flip it.
The hands,
Yes.
nah. The feet, nah.
Interesting.
The hands. You know what? Y'all hand people
That's
go over there.
fascinating. I didn't think
Y'all
about it
let
that way.
people go over that way.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about that is that the original football, once it did get started, they didn't pass.
Oh, what do you mean?
There was no passing.
Oh, really? There was no passing?
No, for the first
Oh.
like 50 years or something of football,
You're
it
on your
was
own.
just boring. It was just running plays.
Oh, running plays.
And they was just, okay, who could outlast who? Who could run longer at this
Yeah,
point?
yeah, okay,
And then this one guy, and I want to say his name is Newt Rodney. They made a movie about him.
Okay.
Developed a forward pass.
Forward
He
pass.
called it because it was always in the rules, but no one ever used it because no one knew how to throw a football, I guess.
Well, you know, society is like that.
True.
When you're on the edge of reality and nobody's showing you how to throw a football,
Yeah.
or that is even possible. This. Throw.
No, they say, wait, we don't have to run it. I can throw it. To him?
Nobody read these rules.
Like
to y'all?
what? This is amazing.
Walter Camp.
Look at that. Now he can just score, right? And that's just like a game changer.
And as I'm doing this research, I'm going, we haven't developed much from there. Now we got running and passing. Is there something else that can be done with this ball that people haven't thought about?
Well, we need to figure out pass interference, but that's way down the line.
Yeah, okay,
that's
okay.
further down the line.
All right.
Yeah,
So what were we? We were doing the analysis of these two
Yes.
of this situation because it also explains to me one of the reasons why soccer is more popular.
Why?
It's because it's been around longer.
Yeah, that makes
Been
sense.
around longer in other places where they're like, no. And then football, it developed in the U.S. So they just didn't do the whole.
I also
marketing
feel that football is easier to play anywhere in the world because it's no equipment.
That's
Just-
that's also correct.
You almost don't need a
Double.
ball,
It's
you know.
It's a
Right.
two-scenario situation on that one.
Shout out to the people in the favela right now with no shoes playing with bricks and stuff. Like they'll play soccer with
Yeah,
rocks, like anything. And football, American football, you need pads and
Yeah,
helmets and
right.
it's a little more organized. So
Yeah.
I admire football that way. Football.
Yeah, it's because it was developed that way. For the
Right.
college to protect the players and all
Right.
that stuff. So from the beginning, football, it's the Chinese and the Aztecs and the people just played it. And FIFA came out. You know what's up with FIFA. You know how the FIFA. Do we want to go in to FIFA? We can do a little FIFA.
No shout out to FIFA.
No shout out to him. But all I'm saying is,
Yeah.
All right, cool. So now we got the football. We got the football differences. We got the two on the other. 11 players on each team. Now we can concentrate a little bit more on football and
Right.
describe this sport so that in a way for folks who don't understand the sport can understand it, visualize it. So hopefully this Sunday they can go, oh, I understand now.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And they're going to see it and be like, that's the thing that Cinto was talking about. That's what I want. All right, great. So I want to do kind of like a little football 101.
Perfect.
Just to kind of break it down. Shout out to our tech guy, Quincy. Can we pop that up for us?
Thank you, Quincy.
So, folks, really quick, I just want to give you a breakdown. I mean, hopefully you're seeing this bigger on your screen than me. But the breakdown is that these are our standard, this is what we call a pro set. This is where it starts to get confusing when they have multiple receivers. Like if we had the two receivers on this side, we took that tight end out, put them over here, they'd be trips, all that, right? Yes, I'm already lost you. What's up?
I get it.
Okay.
But 11 players.
Yes.
We have one quarterback.
Correct.
One quarterback. We have where does the quarterback typically go?
right behind the center.
The center. The center is part of the lineman.
The lineman, yes.
The lineman. How many players typically in an offensive? Because right now we're talking about the offense.
This is offense only.
Right.
So we have 11 players, and typically we have 5 offensive linemen.
Their job is to protect.
Their job is to protect the quarterback and the running backs.
That's right.
Pretty much anyone.
What do the running backs do?
So the running back's job is to take the ball from A to B, whichever direction they want to go. Obviously, we can go straight, we can go around.
Running back.
Right. And this is on this diagram. This is also called a halfback
And a fullback.
A fullback. Now the job of the fullback is different, and
Okay.
I found this fascinating because in Fútbol, y'all also have a halfback.
Y'all.
I say y'all because I'm not
Okay,
with
sure,
that.
sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the football players have a halfback and a fullback also.
Okay, yeah.
Right. But I want to hear what they do in a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the halfback, he gets the ball and takes off with it. The fullback, his job is to block in front of the halfback to give him a little more space to take off with.
Gotcha.
What does the halfback and fullback do in football?
Well, en fútbol, yo típicamente juego en español.
Ah.
Yo típicamente juego en español. Hay delanteros, centro, defensa. Ese fullback es un nombre gringo, hasta cierto punto.
Push the button on your
Oh,
thing
yeah.
to translate.
Or don't.
SAP.
If you learn a little bit, that's what matters.
Pasa la bola, chico, mira.
Okay.
Okay.
It sounds like a midfielder potentially. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I didn't research the names switches. I just
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so nonetheless,
Yes.
we got.
Yeah. So there's the different. This is a pro set. This is just a basic set. This is what you'll see in high school, middle school.
Yes.
This is a basic set. The NFL is when they get more confusing. Yes.
We also have tight ends.
Yes.
Yes. What is their job?
So
What do they
TE,
do?
as you see here on the diagram, TE is a tight end, and the tight end's job, they're kind of half blocking, half catching.
Half blocking, half catching. They do both.
So they do both. They can either block or they can catch.
But once they block, they can't go passing anymore.
Yes, they can.
Oh, they can.
They
Up to a
can.
particular yardage, though.
No.
Forever.
Well,
Oh.
yes, for particular yardage, and that's where the NFL is tighter with that. College is different. High school, it doesn't.
Got it,
It's
got it.
non-existent.
Nonetheless, 11 players. One throws the ball as the
Right.
quarterback. He gets protected by the lineman.
And he doesn't. He's not the only one that can throw the ball.
Correct. Initially, though, right?
Right.
So the ball can be
Right.
moved forward pass.
Right.
Which is invented by, who was that guy?
I think that guy's name was Newt Rodney.
Perfect. All right, cool. So much.
Yeah.
Okay, nonetheless, 11 players.
Right.
We have a tight end that plays a couple of positions, and we have 2 wide receivers.
Yes.
What do the wide receivers do? It's pretty easily explanatory, but
No, the
still.
receivers majority of the time catch, but they also block.
Receivers. Oh, they also do some blocking.
Everybody on the squad should
Yes.
be blocking,
Gotcha.
and that's something that my coaches beat into me since I was 6 years old.
Okay.
If you don't
You're a
have
blocker?
yeah,
So
if
you're a
you
blocker?
haven't knocked someone over and you're standing over them and talking trash about their mothers, then you go and block someone else.
I start
right?
talking about their mothers.
Then talk about their mothers immediately, right?
Tush, your mom.
Shout out to South Park. That's where I learned how to play football. So the offensive linemen, those are usually the big guys, the
Okay.
350, 400-pound guys.
Gotcha. You need the mass to
The
block.
mass
You need
because
the mass to
they
block.
literally when they just stand there,
Yeah.
right? They're more like walls
Yeah.
trying to go around
Yeah.
them if anything, right? And then the receiver core, they're also trying to throw blocks for whatever the situation is. So if we run the ball to the running back and he takes off with it, these receivers on the outside,
Yep.
they need to block their man so
Gotcha. So that guy can keep running.
so that guy can keep running and hopefully score. Every single time we're trying to score, that's the goal,
Gotcha.
ideally.
All right.
right?
All right. And so you mentioned the fullback or the halfback. Which one is the one that tries? Oh, which one is that tries to open up gaps in the line?
The fullback is the one
Fullback.
that tries to open up gaps. He's usually the meanest guy on the team.
Get out of my way! Get out of my way! My buddy's coming.
He's
My
that
buddy's
guy.
coming.
He's that guy. He's a good
Gotcha.
bouncer. Right.
I gotcha. Yeah, right. I gotcha.
And the
All right.
halfback is usually a really quick guy.
Gotcha. Because he's going right behind everybody. He's
right.
going, hey, I'm away, I'm coming.
His as the bowling ball fullback knocks
Beautiful.
everybody out of the way.
Gotcha.
The goal is for the halfback or the running back to kind of bounce off of that.
Perfect. So
Yes.
now I believe you can, if that went too quick for you, you can go back, play in slow motion, I believe.
Yes.
Play it in slow motion, and you have the breakdown of where football came from. You have the breakdown of how it mixed in and it is what it is now.
Right.
Who invented what, and then the lineup of the front of the offensive.
Yes.
The offensive line. I have a quick question before we keep going. Quincy, this is going to automatically record, right? Whenever we finish this, and even though we're live, I need to make sure that that's what's going to happen.
I didn't record quick and live.
Yeah.
I can just get it from the live.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And let's make sure we record
Live and
yeah,
direct.
Yeah. And record it.
Live and direct.
And record it.
Please record. Yes.
All right. Cool.
All right,
now-
so defense.
Yes.
So
That makes
defense.
sense, right?
Yes.
And then after that, I would say special teams.
Yes.
And then we got it all lined up, and we can talk about the game.
Perfect. So defense is pretty simple. They just line up in this situation, everyone lines up in front of these offensive players. The only difference is the linebackers, and the safeties. So a linebacker literally is the guy standing behind. He backs up the linebacker.
So there's a front line or a defensive line.
So the defensive line is to stand right in front of the offensive players, and then the linebackers kind of stack the way that these running backs stack. So it's just the opposite. They're just mirror images from this in this set.
Not quite mirror, but yes, mirror, because it's like a moving mirror. It's trying to mirror your mirror. Is what it is. And so in the defensive line, they've got 3 to 4 players. I believe it's the defensive tackle, the defensive guard.
The defensive tackle, the defensive end.
The defensive end.
Yes.
Right. And then we also have like you mentioned, the cornerback. I believe there's a
cornerbacks are the ones that stand in front of the receivers, and those are usually the smallest, quickest guys on the team. That's me. That's what I played. I was the smallest.
Cornerback.
I played cornerback. I can't throw. So they usually say that cornerbacks, defensive backs, are receivers that can't catch. That's the joke.
They can block.
Because they can block and they can hit, which is what I could do, but I couldn't catch. So they're usually the small, quick guys on the team, and then the safeties, they stay way back, and they're literally that's why they're called safeties.
They're the back. Everybody else fails.
You gotta get this tackle. If someone breaks through there, you're the safety. You have to make that play.
Got it. So we have 11 players on the offense, 11 players on the defense.
Right.
1 player is the main player, which is the quarterback. The one that strategizes, gives everybody the team. You gotta have like a lead.
And same thing on special teams. That would just be the kicker instead of the quarterback. 11 guys, 1 guy gets the ball to kick it.
To kick it. Correct. And then we go on special teams. And then we also have the punt returns and all that good stuff.
That's special teams as well.
Right. But we don't have to go into all that.
No. That's not
the meat.
No, that's not the meat.
That's not the meat.
We stick to the meat on this show.
Okay.
Yes.
So we got offensive line, defensive line, history of football. We got last week we got the final scores and the final decisions about who's gonna go where.
I was right about that, by the way, from last week.
Oh, go back and look it back.
Go back from last week's show, the Booty Whisperer show, number 8.
Yeah, the Booty Whisperer, number 8.
And you'll see there where I make my picks correctly. I actually went to Vegas, and I put money on my bets.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did. So I won about...
Congratulations that you won.
Yes, so I won about $1,800.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, with my bet.
I love it.
And if you bet the way I bet, you could be winning too.
Good way. I would not recommend it. I could never recommend it, but I would say
that's true.
You could start small, $1.
Well,
today, what's the minimum bets typically?
You can do $1 if you want. Really, you can do anything.
Don't gamble. Don't bet if you can't handle it.
Yeah, no, that's true.
No, if you can't handle it, don't do it.
It should be for fun. And if you know anyone with the gambling addiction, please call this 1-800 number that we're going to put in the description for Alcoholics Anonymous.
We're taking bets.
Gambling Anonymous.
We need all the gamblers
now
to
that
call
we
this
said
number.
that, now that we said that,
who are you going for? The Rams? Yeah. I'll take both of you, Rams.
Now that we said that,
gamblers.
Let's talk about the bets that we want to place.
All right, hold on.
All right.
But this all has to do as well, in my perception, with regards to risk adversity.
Yes.
Risk adversity.
Yes.
And which is another situations that has to do with business development and entrepreneurship. And that's where another thing where I step in with the connection. The connection is that you have to do a little bit of an analysis to understand where it's been. Like you've been watching the games, you understand where everybody's at, you understand that environment. And so you're going to give us some information that allow for us, or for you, for whomever wants to hopefully know what's going to happen a little bit on Sunday, and implement that strategy. And then there's other longer term strategies with other stuff that we go through in the show. So subscribe. So we can give you more.
So I think we should do our picks, analytically.
Okay.
And also, let's use something weird.
Okay, I like it.
Just so we can.
Hold on 1 second. I need to find out what we're talking about. Weird.
Yeah.
But I understand.
The
what
weirder the better. That's how I roll.
Okay, sure.
So there's some analytic bets, right? We got stuff like prop bets.
Okay. Prop bets.
So if you don't know what prop bets are, it stands for
I don't know.
Proposition bet. It's a proposition bet. So there's a lot of them that you can bet on, and you can bet $1 on these. You can bet whatever you'd like on these. Obviously,
there's not even money; it's just proposition.
No, you can bet money on it, but it's a proposition.
You don't have to
correct.
do money.
Correct.
Got
correct.
It.
So there's a lot out there.
Okay, gotcha.
I want to read some of them and see what your thoughts are.
Go. Yeah.
All right. So, length of the national anthem.
Okay.
Do you think it's going to be over 98 seconds or under 98 seconds?
That's exciting.
That's an interesting. What do you think?
I bet $1,000 that it's gonna be. Who am I betting? Be myself.
Yes. Yes.
I'll take that bet.
Okay.
$1,000.
Under 98. Over 98 seconds.
98 seconds. Under. I'll say under.
Under?
Yeah, I'll say
Okay.
that's a minute
Mark
and a
it
half.
down.
81 minute. Yeah, under.
Coin toss.
Ooh.
Heads or tails?
Heads or tails? 50-50. It's every time 50.
Or none of the above? If it lands
side.
perfectly on the side.
I'll take 1,001 odds on that one. I'll do heads. Yeah, heads. Why not?
So that's smart because they're one of the last NFL games, one of the last playoff games. It went to overtime, and the current NFL overtime rules are a coin flip before who gets the ball, which is a stupid rule because if you score first, the game is over.
Oh, really? Sudden death?
So it's sudden death style.
Wow.
Right? So, but no, not necessarily sudden death. It's only if you score a touchdown first. If you kick a field goal, they have a chance to
the
score.
field goal is what triggers that. Hey, you get to respond.
Right.
Okay, I see.
But
the touchdown wins it.
This particular game, they chose tails.
Oh, tails.
And
Okay.
they lost. And then the team went down and scored, so they lost the whole game. Over a coin flip. So they're talking about changing that rule so that at least both teams get a chance. That's how it is in college.
Yeah,
that's the way it should
soccer.
be.
It's a longer, more wise game.
Yeah, exactly. So he chose tails, and everybody's making fun of him now that he should have chose heads.
Yeah.
Do you think Snoop Dogg is gonna smoke weed on stage? So in case you don't know, I finally got Quincy to laugh.
Yes, $1,000.
I've been trying to get Quincy to laugh for like 8 episodes. It hasn't worked till now.
Gamblers, you can't help yourself.
So in case you don't know, the halftime show is gonna be one of the best halftime shows I believe in a long time because it's gonna be Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg.
The big,
I think
all of them, huh?
Mary J. Blige and Kendrick
It's gonna be a
Lamar.
powerhouse.
It's gonna be amazing, man. I'm really excited about this, and I think Dr. Dre has a new album out too.
Oh,
It's
really?
called The Contract.
Oh, man, that
it's
guy
really
here.
good. So back to the question.
Yes. Oh, the question. Yeah.
Do you think you can bet money on this in Las Vegas?
Oh, okay.
Do you think that Snoop Dogg is gonna smoke weed on stage? Yes or no?
Oh man, but does the NFL have rules against that? I don't know.
The NFL might, but it's Snoop.
I know. Do I think NFL? I mean, Snoop will break whatever rule to sell Dre's
Live
album?
on TV.
Yes.
Live on TV.
How much is that fine in the film?
Because he can
pay that fine, sell my record.
That's what I'm
Let's
thinking.
roll.
I would do it if I was Snoop.
Just saying.
Or maybe he could play it off and make it look like a cigarette or something. I don't know. So you think he will?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I assume so. Yeah, I think so. It sounds like in a
So yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We're marking all these down. We're gonna make Robert pay up if he doesn't.
$1,000.
All right. Boom. Another 1,000 on it. Do you think Eminem is gonna curse?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to say.
It's on live TV. It's like a family channel.
Original Eminem. Sure. Today's Eminem, I don't know him so well, and so it would be hard for me to say. I would say no. I would say
No cursing?
I would say he won't curse live on TV in a family show.
Now, what's your definition of cursing? Does it
Oh,
have to
you're the
be-
one that making the bet, man.
Yeah, I know.
You're the one-
I'm wondering that. I'm like, I wonder if like, obviously
gonna give me
the
the
F
island.
word would be bad, right? N word or something like that would be horrible. But like we had a guest recently who was asking the question about tits, right? Is tits a curse word? I don't know. Can you say it in
I don't
church?
think Eminem's gonna say that word.
I don't think so either.
I'll say that.
all
I
right,
can bet that.
last one. Last one is one of my favorite ones.
Okay, go.
First commercial:
The first commercial.
beer, chips,
Chips.
cars.
Oh, cars are expensive because of those chips. So cars have chips in them?
No. I meant potato chips. But way to touch on a current event. There is a chip shortage going on for cars.
That's right.
But
There's a big spike in prices of cars.
Potato chips like
okay,
glazed
gotcha.
Doritos.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Cars.
By the way, those chips, I think it has something to do with the Chinese, by the way. Aren't they like holding them back or something? I'm not 100% sure.
No, it's lithium.
Oh, it's lithium is what it is.
We're having a
That's
lithium shortage in the
they
whole
say.
world.
They claim a shortage, right? But then they're looking for that asteroid too.
Yes.
Oh, that asteroid's got lithium.
Well, that's exactly right. Did you know that there's planets out there that have stuff that we need? All we have to do is like get out there and pick it up. There's a
Unless there's like armies of their people living there. We're like, hey, we like this is our lithium. We eat that for lunch.
Well, hopefully it'll be a football game that we can decide that we will fight that to the death.
I know, right?
We're good at
the
it.
Lithoneers.
There's even a planet out there that's made all of diamonds.
Oh, that sounds intriguing.
You can literally fly in there and just pick up a rock and go marry your girl.
Fly
or whatever.
there. Is it called flying where you go
I
to
mean,
space,
space,
float, whatever,
space there,
travel?
whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha,
So,
I gotcha.
anyways, yeah.
Cool.
So, what do you think? Chips,
Okay,
beer,
chips.
cars.
Oh, man, I'll say cars, but it includes chips. So
Good one.
I say cars,
I
but
like
that includes
it.
chips.
All right, mark it down. We got it now. So that's about what $4,000 or $5,000 that you just put on there.
Go.
Make it happen.
Let's do it. All right, so we got prop bets. We
Yes.
got everything behind the line. We got subscribe out of the way twice.
Yes.
Now we got what? Predictions?
Well, yeah, analytic prediction.
Analytic predictions.
Analytic
I like
prediction.
It. Analytic prediction.
Okay, so the game is really close. The spread is really close.
The spread is really close.
So I think it's gonna be a very close game.
Define spread for us, please.
Oh, so thank you for that.
Yes,
okay,
that's what I'm here for.
yeah. So the spread, in case you don't know, in sport and betting, any sort of gambling, the spread is a number that they create based on extenuating circumstances.
Straining.
Actually, the person, if you ever, a great movie to watch is called Casino.
Okay.
Casino with
The original
Yeah,
Casino
the
with,
original with
Robert Redford?
Robert. No, De Niro.
The Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. Joe Pesci. Sharon Stone.
Just where De Niro is the manager of the hotel.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So he's an actual person that lived. His name was, I forgot his first name, but his last name is Green.
Okay.
So Mr. Green invented sports gambling.
Oh, really?
So here's what back in the day it was
Sports
just
gambling.
it would have just been Rams versus Bengals pick, but
Yeah.
now we have spreads, which
Gotcha.
makes things even.
Gotcha.
So what this guy used to do, he used to follow athletes around. He'd pay people to follow them and
How
feel
intriguing.
oh,
He did his
research. Exactly.
It's a big part of
That's
the
huge.
equation. People think, oh, lucky. No. Work, research.
And it's not that
Subscribe.
hard. We have it right here. All the
They give it to
research
you.
that we
They do
need.
the work.
Yeah,
They do the work. You
exactly.
just have to tune in and read it.
Yeah. So this gentleman, he would get all this information, and he made millions, probably billions, on sports gambling, on him doing it himself, doing all that research. Then he used that information to create these spreads. So a spread is a number that's kind of like a handicap. Okay. So the spread of this game is 3.5.
Yeah.
So if we start the game 0-0.
Yep.
The person who's the underdog
Yep.
is 3.5 points ahead starting at the game.
On the gambling environment.
In the environment of the spread.
Right. The game is 0-0, but in the gambling environment, you're already ahead because your team is down.
Yeah.
Because they're the underdog.
They're the
And
underdog.
What determines the underdogability with regards to?
Great question. So a lot of things go into that. The stuff that Mr. Green used to research, like where did that person sleep? Are they eating well? Are they at home?
Oh, wow.
Are they fighting with
That
their?
it went into all that
Oh,
detail.
are they fighting with their wife?
Oh, you know everybody knows TMC. So you're telling me I gotta watch TMC so I understand
Yes,
football? Wow.
that's how you have to do it because
wow.
everybody at this level is professional. Everybody at this level is really good.
You're looking for the kinks in the
Any
armor.
little tiny thing that you can get, and that's what Bill Belichick was the best at, right?
Bill Belichick.
Deflating the footballs.
Oh.
He would video the other team's practices.
Oh, he wasn't supposed to do that.
No, but he got away with it because he said something very special when
What did he
they
say?
busted him.
Keep winning.
No, exactly. Well, that's what he was ultimately
Fire
saying.
us. Let us go. Fire us. See what happens.
See what happens. No, he said I misinterpreted the rules.
Oh, I love it.
That phrase became
Oh,
famous.
man.
So I can't wait the next time I get pulled over by a cop. That's what I'm going to say. And he's going to throw me in jail. Slap me on the car first and then throw me in jail. So the spread, we're
Yes.
going to start out 3.5 points. If that's your spread,
Gotcha.
your underdog's going to start 3.5 points ahead, and the person who's in the winner, or the person that I forgot the opposite of underdog.
The overdog?
Why not? The overdog is going to be 3.5 points
Overcat?
minus to start the game.
Okay. Oh, minus. So they don't start. You don't start at 0.
Right, they
So you're
start
off by
minus.
6 points.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Oh, crap.
yeah. Well, they're not necessarily off by 6 points, but
Yeah.
that's how you look at
Oh,
it
I
when
see.
you're placing your bets. So
Got
those are what spreads are.
I gotcha.
So since the spread is so close, that means that these teams are pretty even.
What's the spread now?
I believe it's still 3.5, but that's a
Okay.
good question. I'm going to check that as we speak.
Will it change by game time?
So it changes, yeah. Again, so if
you wouldn't want to make your bet actually to
No,
right before game
let's-
time.
Yeah,
Because something can
exactly,
happen.
exactly. Because
Don't make your bet yet. Somebody could get hurt. You don't know who's gonna get in a fight.
It's still 3.5.
So 3.5.
So it's
Gotcha.
the Rams by 3.5, and I think that the biggest factor on that one is because it's home field advantage.
Not that I condone gambling. I'm just saying. I'm really
Yes.
excited about this information. I'm like, oh, how much?
Yeah, exactly.
But no.
So here's the good news though, if you pick the underdog and you already get those 3.5 points, you
Yeah.
have a much better chance of making a little bit more money.
Ah.
A lot of times, like a great example is like Mayweather fights. Mayweather's fights, the odds were always impossible. So you had to put like $100 down just to get a couple of dollars.
Gotcha.
Because the spreads were always because he was always going to win.
Yeah.
Right. So in this case, the teams are pretty evenly matched, and we
Gotcha.
don't know who's going to win. So the spread
Well, I mean,
is
we
very
kind of do,
close.
but not yet.
We will.
We will
Yeah.
for sure.
So analytically speaking,
Gotcha.
I think,
You think.
my gut says
Are you gonna go through the analysis, or are you gonna split out your answer? I would say, give me a little bit of an analysis.
analytics.
Slowly.
Analytically,
Slowly. Quarterbacks. Give me the quarterbacks.
Yeah, so quarterbacks. All right,
Who's what?
Stafford.
Oh, wait. There's 4 teams. The quarterbacks, by the way, just because you don't know, the quarterbacks are not match up against each other.
Right. They don't play against each other.
People think that.
But they say that, too.
They match it up.
Yeah,
the
they say
quarterback
that.
versus the quarterback. It's not really
No,
correct.
it's not.
Right.
They're both quarterbacks.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, a lot of times after the game is over, the quarterbacks will go hug each other and like tell each other how great they did, even if they lost.
Yeah.
Right. So we got Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow.
Boom.
All right. Stafford was with the Detroit Lions for a long time. Shout out to Detroit.
Who's got more experience in the game?
Stafford.
Stafford.
Joe Burrow's new. He's young.
Gotcha.
But he's got swag.
Gotcha.
He's got swag. I mean, he listens.
He got him here.
He listens to Kid Cudi before he performs. You know, before he plays. If you listen to Kid Cudi before you perform or play,
You're in it.
You're cool. You're down with it. And then he kind of looks like Jim Brewer, which is one of my favorite comedians.
Gotcha.
And then Matthew Stafford, he's just been in the league a long time. He was with a horrible team, but he's good.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, he's just been losing, and now he's with a good team.
Gotcha.
And
They got him properly positioned. And then so you have to understand that with regards to even all your strategies is, sometimes people would fire employees because they're in the wrong position, and you would think that this is something that you could think about. Is okay. Maybe they're nice, they're cool, you're not fulfilling, but sometimes you have to reassign.
Right.
And sometimes you have to fire them, or maybe they have to go to another team to go. But football is it's got the rigid rules and all that. But employment and things of that nature, not quite. There's so many roles that can be fulfilled.
Well, that's why they just changed this in college, because it used to be like that in college. You weren't allowed to switch teams.
Oh,
if
really?
if you transferred to another school, you had to wait at least a year before you could play. Right.
Intriguing.
Yeah. So they just changed this year, and also they changed the rules in college where you can start getting paid for your jersey sales.
Gotcha.
Because before this, the universities were making billions off of athletes.
They were working my butt up. Yeah, you're
Right.
getting educated.
And
I
you're-
mean, yeah,
and
but
they're not
there's an
letting-
offset with
Right.
how much education I'm getting.
And they wouldn't let them work either.
How much back you...
When I was playing college football,
That's whooping it, dude. That's
dude,
harsh.
that's pretty much slave labor. I mean, if you ask me.
I think some people made that argument. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I mean...
Oh no! I mean, obviously it's not.
Yeah.
That's a
They do get
that's a
education.
large leap, but it's similar because we're working for food and board and not allowed to work to make money for ourselves.
They don't want their perception. I believe it's from the original back where it's like we don't want you to pollute the game with all this money.
Right.
But then now it's flipped in such a way where it's like, hey, I'm going through this school so I can have a career, and you guys are loading it up, and you forgot about this part. It's like, we misinterpreted what your thing was. Do you want money? I thought you wanted an education. We misinterpreted.
Well, that's different.
It's gonna take 100 years for committee to look through your paperwork and your complaints. Make sure it's not something where we're gonna get sued because we give you the authority to make money, you're gonna sue me for the last whatever, and then no. So then these things take time because people have power, don't want to let it go.
And I think that's where they're gonna go because
It has to go that way.
well,
it has to go that way because people are demanding it.
And as a
the
result,
audience is demanding it. Right?
Well, the
audience
people
are like, hey.
The people in the corporations are getting involved with sports gambling now because sports
gambling is doing all this.
Sports gambling is now legal. And it was not about a year ago.
Federally speaking.
Federally speaking.
Federally speaking.
Right.
Don't go crazy.
It's always technically been legal. I mean, if you go to the right place,
Yes.
right? But no, now it's legal. So I forgot the numbers exactly, but I want to say one of the main sports books in New Jersey or New York made something like $650 million in their first couple of days of being open.
Big market.
It's a humongous market. And this is where you're going to see this in the Superbowl, folks. You're going to see commercials for DraftKings and FanDuel. There's all these
Cars, chips,
and beer, and there's all these corporations who are now fighting for this huge chunk of money that never been existent before. So sports gambling is changing the game, but it's also revolutionizing the game. What I mean is now you can't get in trouble for betting on it. Right, certain teams, certain players.
I can understand the concern between folks with regards to like, but there's got to. I'm assuming there's some form of regulation in the sense of I don't know. I will have to understand more of this new law, the way that everything is like, go ahead and do it. But it's like, no. I mean, I don't think the college kid that can't afford a lot of stuff is now gambling everything else because he thinks he's going to win. But then you can start throwing games is the other issue.
Boom, you just hit it on the head. And that's the change. That's the thing that's changed because
Start throwing games. Get so much money. Woo, you throw one game? Oh, that's ridiculous.
One of the
so many
greatest,
players.
absolutely, one of the greatest baseball players ever, Pete Rose, is not allowed to be around baseball or be in the Hall of Fame
because
he cheated because he bet on sports. He bet on his own team.
So the teams cannot bet on themselves.
You cannot bet on yourself. You can't even bet on sports.
Yeah, but people around you,
Or
hey,
used to.
Hey, when are you gonna fall? Hey, which down? Who's hurt?
Exactly,
Yeah,
because it's
that's
so
a concern.
like these prop bets that we just talked about a moment ago. They're so intricate. These
Correct.
details and all of these bets are getting more and more detailed.
Yeah.
So now they can say, perfect example. Last Super Bowl.
What happened?
Okay,
last year?
this
Super Bowl 55.
55. This bet is no longer available because of what happened last year.
last year? Tell me.
Last year,
So
there
one
was a
bet.
bet, and I want to say it was like the odds were like 1 to 50, something huge like that.
okay.
So that someone will streak naked on the
Oh,
field.
dude, here's $1,000. I'm gonna bet $1 million. Go.
Boom. So some guy, he waited. He went to the game.
Is that Asian guy?
No, he was actually Italian or
Oh,
something
you say
like
his name
that.
was some guy.
Oh yeah, I think so. Nice. So this dude ran onto the field, but he bet on himself, or he bet on that someone is going to run on the field. So
I say nice, but
because
it's an opportunity.
Well, the cost of being in jail for one night versus
take it.
millions of
I will
dollars.
take it. I mean, not me, but somebody took it.
I would. I'd sit in jail for a night.
If you had thought about that
Exactly.
opportunity
The
to be able to,
opportunity.
yes.
So they took that bet down. Now they don't have it this year.
Oh, what other bets are there that people can capitalize on?
Well, stuff like weird stuff like that, just chips and beer and stuff like that. They got rid of the fun ones because of that one guy. He got paid on it.
Thanks, some guy.
Yeah, thanks a lot, some guy, whatever. So analytically speaking, the Rams have a much superior defense.
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
The
Got it.
Bengals' offensive line is terrible.
And these teams, by the way, we forgot to mention this part. There's actually 2 complete divisions. So these teams have
Right.
never actually played each other. Or they've played each other. How does it work with regards
That's
to
a
the
good
tournament?
question. Well, there are NFC, AFC. That's what
Oh,
the
is that
different
right?
conferences
Okay,
are called.
yeah.
There are teams that play against each other throughout the
Yes.
year, and that schedule changes every year.
Ah,
So
gotcha,
I don't
gotcha.
know. I can't remember if they played each other during the regular season this year.
Gotcha. I'm curious. It would be interesting to know that.
Yeah, that would. But if
you know, go ahead and
they
put in
will
the
definitely.
descriptions.
If they
That'd be nice.
did, they will definitely talk about it
Oh,
a
okay.
million times during the
In
game.
the prior game and who did what. And who did
Yes,
what.
because
Probably
that's the
analysis,
thing about
yeah.
the Super Bowl. They're just constantly trying to find things to talk about
Gotcha.
while they're there. So if they did, it'll be up there. But the previous the previous playoff game, not this one, but the one before, the Bengals gave up a record 9 sacks. A sack is, if you don't know, a sack is when your quarterback gets tackled before he can do
the
anything.
line wasn't doing his job.
Right. So the Rams have a really great line. The Bengals have a terrible offensive line.
Oh, no.
So the odds are my analytic
Because
gut
his line is weak.
is that the Rams are going to win and cover the spread by 3.5. So they're going to win at least by 4 points.
Bam.
Is what my analytics says.
So we went through this whole thing, talked about this whole deal.
Just to get to that.
But the thing is, people want to understand so they can make the assessment whether that's correct.
Right.
Instead of you just, or people, whoever say bet or don't bet.
Right.
Don't just say that.
Right, because it can get more intricate, right? You can look at individual matchups.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's
like
also about scoring. Like who's
Right.
going to be up at a particular time, if sacks are going to happen, how many. Maybe.
absolutely, and then the defense if they score, right? So like
Defensive-
for
correct.
for example,
what about the defensive side with regards to being able to score?
yeah. So the best defensive player on the Rams, his name is Jalen Ramsey.
Gotcha.
And he's a cornerback,
Corner, right, your position.
like me, my
Gotcha.
position.
All
He
right.
plays safety sometimes too, but he's much larger and faster than me.
I see.
Anyway, obviously that's why he's in the NFL. But he's taken it upon himself to cover the fastest receiver on the Rams.
Oh, I see.
His last name's Chase.
So like he announced it, like
He
I got
said it.
Chase. Chase ain't scoring today.
Straight up.
Chase ain't scoring today.
He straight up said that, and he's going to do it the whole game. And,
Oh,
and that's
wow.
what we'll see.
I see.
Because
Chase supposed to be like a wide,
Chase
fast
is
receiver.
fast.
I got Chase. There's 10 other players. Y'all need to do what y'all need to do. But
Exactly.
me, I'm going to get my man.
So Ramsey's just like, I'm taking this guy. Y'all better do your job. So
That's intriguing.
and he's
If he-
amazing.
What happens if he scores? Is that a bet? Is there a bet against whether or not?
Yes.
Oh, what are the
absolutely.
odds on that one?
I don't know the odds on that one, but it's pretty high.
Oh, really?
But
Like that he will score?
that he will score.
Oh,
right,
really?
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, and both sides of that coin too. Will Ramsey score? Will Chase score? Right. There's so
Ramsey
many.
could catch an interception.
catch
and
an
that's the one.
interception.
And whenever that interception happens, because there's no defensive lineup, they typically take it all the way down.
That's ideal, right? I mean, that if that happens, I guarantee the Rams win. if Ramsey or if they score on defense, because they also have Donald, he's on the defensive line. He's a monster.
Yeah.
He's like J.J. Watt on steroids. I mean, he's just a monster. No, not steroids, literally though, because it's the NFL. That would be bad. But he's a monster.
Yeah,
so if they score on defense, it's over.
Gotcha.
I guarantee that.
So now we have the Bengals, who seemingly speaking should eat the Rams.
I mean, if we're talking about just the mascots, yes.
I'm just saying, if you don't know how this game goes and you go by the mascots,
The nature. I mean,
and you
nature's
didn't go
metal,
through this
man.
analysis,
Nature's metal,
I'm just
man.
saying,
Absolutely.
don't get fooled by the mascots. People do. Wow, the
They do.
Tiger's gonna eat that Ram.
Well, a lot of times people select their bets that way. I had a girlfriend in college. I'll never forget this.
Okay.
We did the final four. It's the matchups in the NCAA basketball tournament.
Yeah.
So you set your matchups at the very beginning, and
Okay.
she won the whole thing. She
Really?
won like $1,000.
Like $1,000
We all put like $50, $100, and at the end we're like, oh wow, how did you pick your teams? Like, what did you? Oh, I like the colors of this one. I like the mascot of
I like
that
the colors.
one, and
That's
we're
hilarious.
like, oh my God, dude, she just beat us all. And we were trying to use analytics, and she beat us just because of the colors.
How intriguing. Well, now that you say that,
Yeah.
since we've gone through the whole analytic environment,
Yes.
and we've gone through the whole, oh, you're so clever, we looked at the history of...
Is that you making fun of yourself? I love that.
Not only just me, but they're passing it along. They go, hey, we're supposed to be predictive here.
I love it.
And we're like, oh yeah, that does happen though. The fluke,
Yes.
it's a fluke. The spreads get messed up because
Right.
you don't know what you don't. That's the nature of the
True.
of the gamble, of the bet.
It's human nature, sure.
So in that, I believe we had a second way of making this prediction. So we have the analytics and we had the color coding. But did you bring your girlfriend here from college?
No,
Is she here to make this
she
prediction?
dumped me a long time ago, so
Oh, okay.
that's not going to work.
Okay.
But I'm sure that people have been wondering what these are here. We've been playing with these for a while. I'm pretty sure they're wondering what this
That's right.
is.
It's like, hey, oh.
Yeah. So
This says Bengals. I don't know if you can read Bengals. That says Rams. That says Rams. Yeah, it's the blue is kind of a
Bengals,
yes.
and it's Bengals misspelled. Bengals
Oh.
with E at the end. So we want to make sure it's live. We're shooting live.
I know. I understand.
Bang.
I did it on purpose.
It's the
I did it on
Bengals.
purpose.
The Bengals and the Rames. All right. So as you see here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna
Los
have.
tigres contra las cabras.
There it is.
El tigre se va a comer esa cabra.
So we're gonna have a non-analytical bet.
I
We're gonna
gotcha.
have someone come in, and it's not my girlfriend, my ex,
Okay, not
but
your
it
ex.
is a female.
Oh, it's okay.
She's gonna choose which one of these
Okay.
for us.
I see these are dog treats. So
Yes.
I'm hoping we have a dog and not a person doing
Oh
this.
wait, a dog. That's not what I brought.
What are the
All
dog
right,
treats
all
for?
right. So
Here we go.
Everyone, I'd like to introduce to you. This is Sky.
Oh, hi, Sky.
Sky
Nice
is
to meet
going
you,
to
Sky.
choose our Super Bowl winner. We hope. This is live.
Okay. Hey, Sky. How intriguing. How fun. How exciting.
This is Sky.
Sky is going to break down all of Jacinto's time with regards to choosing a team. Hi, Sky.
So, Sky.
Oh, you got to put it in the middle. You got to put it in the middle so that it doesn't have a spread. Can you put it right here, maybe? Yeah. Right there. Yeah, right there. Okay, here we go. And then I start further away so I don't mess with her.
You need to be the.
Oh, I got to be the guy?
Yeah, you can be talking the whole time.
Oh, man, I'll be talking the whole
Sky.
time. I'll be right here so you can hear me. All right, what are we going to do, Sky? We have two little dogs. Is she hungry? Are you hungry, Sky? Are you hungry? No, in the middle. Maybe this one.
over here, look.
No, maybe this one. Oh, no, you're going to pick the Bengals. Oh, no, this one. I was just kidding. Hey, we're just kidding. Come on, Sky. Sky. Get the Bengals. Get them Tigers. So we can do 1-1. Come on, Bengal. Come on, Sky. No, Sky. Bet $1,000 he's going to pick the Bengals.
We're gonna go with.
Come on, Sky. I got money on this.
Sky likes, I don't think Sky likes the treat, so we're gonna go with whatever one's closest.
Go close, but you got it in the middle of the table. This is what's called dynamic spreading. I just made that up. We're live.
The winner is the Rams.
Thanks, Mr. Green. Thanks,
Thank you.
Mr. Green, aka Robert De Niro, aka Jacinto. So we get the Rams double pick. Man, y'all. What happens if the Bengals wins? Who gets the treats? Thank you very much, Sky. Thank you very much for coming out to the shows.
All right.
See you next
Shout out
time.
to Sky. All right. So
See you next time. Thanks for coming.
Rams it is. So
We
went
shall
by
see.
analytics and we went by non-analytics and both came out with the Rams.
Are you gonna make a gamble? I'm just curious.
I
I don't
am.
know if I should ask you or not.
I could do it right here live if you want.
if you were already going to make it and you already had your mind made up, keep in mind, if it's not right before the game, you can wait a little bit. I would say wait it before, and then you can make it more in case.
Here's the thing, though.
What?
It's strange because
Strange. Now we're talking about quantum leap.
if you
Don't bet.
no, with
You
the
do bet.
yeah, we could. if we bet on it,
Yeah.
I feel like lately it's been the year of the underdogs.
Oh, okay.
I mean, obviously it's a brand new year, but I mean, like recently, nothing but underdogs have been
Gotcha.
winning.
Guy is a regular dog.
Yes, Sky is a regular dog. But underdogs, I mean, like, it's been that way. So I have a feeling, even though our money is on the Rams, I have a feeling the Bengals are going to win only because everybody thinks they're going to lose.
Oh, I understand.
So
what
they're
you
going to
mean.
go in there with
Oh,
this.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's what you gotta
They're
make
going to go with this mentality of like, I hate everybody who thinks we're going to lose.
Yeah.
Let's show them,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing. I have a feeling that might happen. So we'll see.
Intriguing, and that's what makes this whole exciting. If we knew who was going to win, we wouldn't have enough content for y'all.
Well, yeah.
we
I mean,
wouldn't have any.
exactly.
Like, oh, what are we going to talk about? Well, I don't know.
we
Who's
are
gonna win.
live.
Who cares?
We are live and direct.
And recording, I hope.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
All right. All right, cool. So we have the predictions, analytic, and canine.
Canine.
And
Human and animal.
Animal,
I
right?
love
But
it.
only one animal. We wanted to get more animals, but they wouldn't let us.
We tried, y'all.
We tried getting a turtle.
What did we try to
A
get?
turtle, a ninja turtle.
And what happened with the turtle?
We had to get the whole environment, and I was like, I just need the turtle.
They're like,
no, sir.
they're like, we don't.
What are you gonna do with it? They asked me. I
they're-
was like,
Now you're starting to look like a creep or something, right?
I'm just gonna do some gambling with it. I was gonna give it back. I didn't even want a refund. I just needed it for a little while.
We're gonna go race turtles, and they're just
$20 for
like,
the turtle?
they're probably thinking you're gonna do something nasty with it or something,
A
man.
turtle? What
Because
the
then your next choice was a hamster.
I did. Well, I was. Somebody said something cute, and the hamster was and small. So the
Right.
hamster was next in line.
Oh, okay.
With whatever was
Because
gonna
people do
happen.
weird things with hamsters.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe on the next episode.
Yeah, that's a whole different topic altogether. Live and direct.
It's hamsters.
Yes.
All right, cool. So yeah, the original deal, we tried to get the turtle, that didn't work out. The hamsters also didn't work out. Sky showed up and filled in and made the prediction.
Thank you, Sky. Shout out to Sky for making that happen for us.
Thank you very much. All right, cool. So now we got how much time do we have and what time is it? We got 5 minutes left. All right, cool. Do we have more topics? Let me see. What
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The rodeo's coming.
The rodeo's up.
Travel adventure.
Houston rodeo is coming up.
What are we touching?
They say rodeo in California for some weird reason.
Football.
Exactly. It's California. California.
Football. Okay,
yeah,
so
so-
we got travel adventures and the rodeo. Which one? We gonna hit
Yeah,
up?
well, whichever. So
Don't say
the
rodeo or travel, whichever.
let me give you my quick travel story.
Go.
I just went to Vegas.
Oh, like how long ago? A month ago?
A couple days ago.
Oh,
I just came back.
Welcome back.
And I grew this ponytail while I was in
man,
Vegas.
Vegas is interesting. I didn't even know
It
Vegas
makes
grew hair like
it
that.
makes your hair grow. In case you didn't know that. So
It did it to me too. Yeah.
yeah, is that what happened to
I
you?
was there 2-3 months ago. Came back.
Shout out if you're having a hair loss problem, go to Vegas. So I went to Vegas, and the craziest thing that's ever happened to me in my life happened.
It just happened. What a
Just happened to
coincidence.
me on the way.
Live.
When we're on the way to the airport. This
Okay.
isn't even in Vegas. I'm
Oh.
on the way to Vegas.
You're in Houston.
I'm in Houston.
Oh, it happened in Houston.
It happened in
Even better.
Houston
All
on
right,
my
go.
way to
Okay,
Vegas.
most interesting thing.
My Uber driver.
Oh, okay.
His name is Poet.
Oh, poet.
Shout out to Poet. Please, I hope you're not watching this.
Okay.
Because he's about to get mad at me. Poet.
You give him the link. Hey, poet, I'm gonna be live.
Yes, right? Oh
I
my
give it to
God,
everybody.
dude.
I give the link to everyone. We're gonna be live.
So he's driving, and
Poet?
he's one of those Uber drivers that offers information and you don't
Yeah.
want it.
Yeah, I
Right?
got
You're
that.
just like,
I got
dude, just drive. Like, why are you talking to me? You know, one of those.
I got you because sometimes you just want to.
Especially because I'm trying to get to the airport,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You concentrate on the road.
Concentrate on the road.
Yeah.
So he
Don't
turned.
clock. Your clock is
No.
off. You just drive, dog.
Exactly. So he turns to me and he starts telling me about his girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
About how he's gonna move to Los Angeles and
Oh.
she's out there.
Whoa.
And now also I have to remind this is the like worst Uber van I've ever been in my
Oh, it's a
life.
van? You got a
It's a
van?
van and it's got dents and holes.
Oh, so when it pulled
and-
up, you're
and
like,
the
huh.
back doesn't open, so I had to throw my suitcase through the middle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was just, and then the seat wouldn't move, so I'm like stuck in the back of the seat, and then he starts to tell me about his girlfriend in LA.
Moving to LA.
And I'm like, don't care, just drive. But he's telling me, but he's telling me in a way like I'm stupid, right?
Oh, really?
So he's like, I don't know if you know, but there's this thing. It's called an app.
It's called an app.
These things called apps, right? you can do things with them. And I'm like, yeah, I've heard. What is this app thing you're talking about? And his phone goes off. Bing. He kisses his phone. And goes, oh, baby, I'll be home real soon, baby. And he goes, see, that's what I'm talking about. See, that this app, my girlfriend can watch everything I'm doing on this app. And she watched me all day. All she do is sit at home watching me on. And I'm like, do people even type anymore? I feel like we all use mouse.
I type on a computer.
Oh, sure. So he's like, yeah, she watched me all day long. And I'm just like, okay,
Get off
great.
your computer, boy, to drive.
This is great. I don't care. Keep driving. So he's proceeding to go on how they're going to get married and all these things. Yeah. And then he hits me with it. Are you ready for this?
What does it say?
He's like, would you like to see her? Oh. And I'm like, well, sure. Okay. So I thought he was going to pull up his phone or show me a picture. Pulls up a People magazine.
Shut the front
and
door.
It's crumpled up too, by the way.
Really?
Like a crappy People magazine.
How intriguing.
And on the I'm still believing him. So I'm like looking at it. I'm like, oh, I'm reading like the sides of it. Oh, is she like, did they write something about her, or is she a writer in this? He's like, oh no, this is her. The cover of the People magazine is Zendaya.
Who was it?
Zendaya.
Oh, Zendaya?
Zendaya from Spider-Man and all those movies.
Really? Yeah, I got you. The new Mary Jane. The new Mary Jane.
The new MJ. The new MJ. Her name's Michelle Jones in the movie MJ.
Got it.
So it's Zendaya.
That's his girl?
That's his girl.
How do you meet her?
So that's what I started asking. I start
because meet this girl.
At this point I don't want to be murdered. So I'm thinking he's gonna drive off the cliff. We don't have many cliffs in Houston, but he's gonna like,
jump off the freeway.
He jump off the freeway. He's gonna murder me. Like he's gonna take me to sell my organs. I don't know what's about to happen.
Right, so
but that's why I'm just like, oh my god. So I'm like, oh great, yeah, tell me about it. And then,
you picked the fire.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, how do you say her name? I wasn't even sure. He goes, oh, it's Zendaya. And like I'm stupid, right? And I'm like, yeah. And so he just proceeds to tell me everything about her. He knows like he's stalking her. He knows her family's name. He knows everything.
The Spider-Man movies.
Microwave's done.
He knows the Spider-Man movies. He knows all of them. What does he think about her? What's he gonna do about Spider-Man?
So he says, Spider-Man? Glad you asked that. I asked that. I was like, so that guy in the movie, and so he goes, oh, Tom Holland, yeah. See, when they kissed, I got mad, right? But I'm good now. I'm like, oh, okay.
I put that child support on her.
I'm like, great. So we won't get murdered.
I got alimony on her.
So now I'm thinking we need to warn Zendaya.
Oh yeah,
because there is a man.
Zendaya, if you're watching, the premium advantage.
Hope you are. We need you to
Don't
take
get
cover.
In the van. Don't get in the van.
Yeah, and look out for a guy named Poet. He's on his way, and he loves you, and it's very, very frightening. I was scared out of my mind.
Well, good thing you're not Zendaya. Why did it was you in that picture? It's like this
exactly
her,
right.
It's you with the ponytail. It's like, oh, what the?
Yes, exactly.
Look it up. Click, click. No out of this. No way out of this van. Ha ha. I seen you at the premium advantage.
Oh no.
Dude, it's an hour. It's an hour.
No, exactly. So, yeah. So luckily I didn't die, and I went to Vegas and had a great time. But,
wonderful. Last thought. Thank you very much for watching the Premium Advantage memberships. Subscribe. Last thought. Shout out. Maybe something like this.
I want to give a shout out to Layla who did my hair. She, you can't see it, but there's a streak in my hair. Shout out to Layla.
Everybody having a good evening. Out.